is Rachel Abasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And I am at the pool today, and I thought I'm going to record. I don't want to miss an episode, so I'm going to record straight from here. I'm not sure how this is going to work as far as recording and being able to pop through over to other apps and stuff, but because I always have to have my notes so I don't lose my train of thought. And being at the pool with all the stimulation, I'm assured I'm going to lose my train of thought. But um, here we are. So I was able to look at my notes. So here we are. What I wanted to talk about today is how timing is everything. And you know what's interesting is yesterday we were talking about over elation and how that can trigger craving to drink. And today, the topic in my meeting was about being able to like pause and recognize that, I shared this morning, I'm a super over excitable type of person. And to be able to like recognize that when I'm in the midst of doing something that is making me excited is something that I've been trying to practice. And I'm getting pretty good at it. It's still hard, like when I have people come to visit me, being able to like just recognize that I'm starting to get dizzy. I'm starting to feel like it's similar to like that feeling if you haven't eaten and I start feeling kind of faint. It's similar to that. So recognizing as soon as it's starting and being able to do a little like self-talk really and to calm down. Um, but the same thing, like we were talking this morning in the meeting about, it doesn't mean that over elation is a bad thing. It just means like to recognize we focus so much on recognizing what harm or the risks of being depressed and being angry and being sad and being frustrated, but we don't talk very much about the risks of being on the other end of the spectrum, being excited. And so it really hit home this morning when somebody was talking about um, being able to recognize that when he's feeling a little, you know, um, on the edge, I guess, of being super excited that he loses touch with the present moment. And I thought, yeah, that is so true. Um, so when I am faced with anything that I need to do, I want to do it like right away. I need to jump into action. I need to be productive. So today, I was doing the same thing. I'm like, what am I going to do today? The only thing I have on my calendar is my daughter started in Bailey. She started a new book club and I joined it. So we have our first book club meeting um, tonight. But other than that, I didn't have anything on my schedule. So I'm, figuring out what I'm going to do. And I decided on these crafts I'm going to do. And finally, like I realized just calm down. Like what is the urgency? You don't have to do anything for once. And I have been definitely feeling like trapped in my house lately because it's been so freaking hot outside. And so today it's only 91. So I thought I've got to get out of here and sweat a little bit. And since I can't walk in the heat the way that I used to love, I can come to the pool and just sit down and sweat. So I brought a little I love to picnic at the pool. So I brought a little peanut butter and honey sandwich and some barbecue chips and a couple chocolate chip cookies. And I'm just sitting and watching all of the kids playing in the pool. So I think that it's become habit for me to have like all those years of being, I always call myself an overachiever. It's like that. It's feeling like I need to overachieve, feeling like I need to take care of something or somebody. And I'm always feeling like I'm in like crisis management mode. And I need to, so I've been trained to like act now and have this immediate response reflex to tackle all of my to-do lists and reply right away when I get a text from somebody and fix things instantly. But that tendency has been clashing with my recovery. And I don't, I have been acknowledging it with my uh psychiatrist, but I haven't necessarily been acknowledging it outside of that. I try to slow down, I try to rest, but I'm, not fully successful at doing that. So when when I get I think an opportunity where I can recognize that the things that are in front of me are not urgent and recognize that that excitability is self-created, is self-architected. Side note, I just had somebody standing beside me and I was like, I feel a little awkward, but I was like, screw it. I'm gonna keep talking. But it was weird. It was just like a high school kid. And by the way, other side note, apparently calling each other bro is in, and every other word you need to say the word bro. Okay, just so you know, when you talk to your friends, you need to every other word you need to say bro, or you're not cool. Okay, so so being able to recognize that that excitability is not necessary, and if I can prioritize recognizing that before I recognize that I'm having vestibular symptoms, like visual overstimulation, because I tend to like move my eyes all around when I get excited. And I start getting that dizziness and headache. I'm definitely feeling it now. This is a big challenge for me to be um first of all, recording on my phone. So it's really important that I don't look at my phone, and I have to in order to keep my train of thought. But I'm a glutton for punishment, apparently. Anyway, we're gonna keep going, but because I'm a glutton for punishment, but recognizing that I don't have to do these things right now is something that I think I just want to say out loud, that the things that I have in front of me are freaking not emergencies. I don't know about you, but I am like always feeling like everything in front of me is a crisis, or everything in front of me has to be done. Not necessarily a crisis, because a crisis means that I'm like getting stressed out about it, I think. And I'm not stressed out. I just am a doer. I want to check these things off of my list. So reminding myself to tune in to tune into like how I'm feeling, if I'm pushing myself too far, if I'm reacting to things instead of pausing and saying, am I feeling excited? Am I feeling, anxious about something? Sometimes when I let something sit, it it causes me stress. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like to get things done immediately, because I don't like to sit in the feeling like okay, I have to do this. This is ahead of me. I like things to be behind me instead of ahead of me. But there is a lot of power in intentional rest. And like sitting at the pool today is, I'm trying to reset. I'm trying to recognize that, okay, you've been going really fast and you need to slow down. I've been trying to work on my back. I do my exercises every night before I go to bed. I'm going to my dry needling. I'm doing all of these things and forgetting to rest. I don't really take a nap much anymore, but because I don't like living half a life, that's what it feels like to me. Having a nap every day feels like I'm living half a life. And so I like to do just enough where I feel like I'm being productive, but not too much where it sends me over my limit and causes me to have increased symptoms and so forth. So shifting from a mentality of do more to a mentality of just be, just be right here. Um, I ran across a friend's LinkedIn post yesterday when I went on to post my podcast episode, and what she posted about was how she was recently laid off about 2 weeks ago, and she said the past 2 weeks have been like the most calming, self-reflective time, peaceful time that she feels like she's ever had. And I responded to her and said, yeah, this isn't how I planned my life to be either, but removing that noise just allows for so much more valuable time with ourselves. Like it's so important to step away and spend time with ourselves. And isn't it amazing that like I tell you guys all the time I like myself, and I've always liked myself, but as I've been able to take away that noise of having a career, that is a gift. I don't want to have a disability. I don't want to be um unemployed. But since I am, I can find the gifts in it. And having that extra time to allow more wisdom to emerge by just um, observing a little better what's going on around me, the people around me, being of service, observing what's going on inside of me when I interact with certain people, and being able to like practice my program even more so than I was, because I have time to like sit and reflect and be like, huh, that kind of pissed me off when I used to, like when I was working, I would just be like, yeah, that pissed me off. And I would just keep moving on with my day. And that irritation and frustration, those inner feelings just build up. So that at the end of the day, I'm like, everybody just freaking leave me alone. And now I get to reflect on stuff. I'm super reflective, and it is a gift. Um, I have more time to wait and make better decisions. It actually is better for my head when I just wait and sit and get some emotional clarity, like deal with what's going on emotionally before I start taking any action. So I'm trying to celebrate today the idea of just not doing what I need to do right away because everything's going to be there. Um, when I get back from the pool, everything's going to be there and I don't have to do it. And I don't, I've never known what that's like. I've always been, a bit of a workaholic. I say a bit of a workaholic, and I feel like my staff would be like, a bit. I don't because I was always working, but I've seen worse. I've seen people that work more than me, but it takes practice. I know there's a lot of people who are getting laid off these days, and I definitely would if you happen to have been laid off, I challenge you to check in with yourself and reflect on now you have a little bit of time, yeah, it's unfortunate, but you have a little bit of time to check in and be like, are there things that I can change inside of me, you know, as I start a new journey, go down a different path for my career or whatever. And just slow down, let these feelings be your guide and not like a stop sign to like, okay, stop what you're doing and do. Just because you're feeling a little bit like, I have to get it done, I have to get it done. Practice not. Practice having a poolside moment, take an intentional pause. It's interesting. This idea of timing is everything. The first thing that it brought up for me this morning was when I was in high school, I was in drama, go figure. And my drama teacher told me that I had perfect timing. So things that were funny or like just delivering a line, he said I had perfect timing. And so I thought about that this morning when I was thinking about this idea of perfect timing. But then I thought, wow, there's a lot more that goes into perfect timing. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna end there. Think about, are you falling behind, on things? Like there's two viewpoints. You can look at it as falling behind on the things outside of you or catching up with the things inside of you. You know, that's that's what I'm trying to do today. So yeah, he came back again. I wanted to tell you something before I go, but I didn't want to say when he was beside me because I'm still embarrassed. Okay. I have been it. So last night before I went to bed, I was so we're looking for a house to move, and it's been a little bit of a secret, but I'm allowed to say it now. So we're looking for a house, and we've been waiting for this entire year for a house to go on the market in the area that we're looking. That's perfect. And the perfect one has not yet hit the market. So, you know how I've been like chasing signs, right? And I've been reading the book called Signs, The Secret Language of the Universe. Well, I thought, okay, well, in accordance with this new connection I'm trying to build with this universe, I'm gonna attempt to pray for something. I never pray for something. I only express gratitude for my sobriety and all this stuff. I've shared that with you before. So last night I was going to bed and I was like, okay, I pray that our house goes on the market, like our dream house goes on the market tomorrow. And that's today. So tomorrow, meaning today. Um, and then I woke up this morning and the topic was about timing is everything. And I thought, okay, it's not gonna be today. I hear you. And then the other thing that happened with signs, because it's just been constant with me, if I think of you, you end up texting me. By the way, that's been happening. And the other thing is I had my friend who passed away from alcoholism like 3 years ago. I know I've been going back and forth as to whether it was 3 years or 4 years. It's been 3 years. Yeah, he passed away after I had my stroke. So I decided that his name. Um, the only thing that came to mind really stands out for me when I think about him is this time that I went water skiing and he was on the boat. And for some reason that is always the thought in my mind is that memory of water skiing. But I thought, water skiing is um a difficult sign, I think, to work with. So, so I thought, let's do a sunflower. It's a little easier. And I know it's not the season for sunflowers. At least I don't think it is. That's usually in the fall. So I thought, okay, it's going to be a sunflower because he likes gardening. And somebody else, one of his friends on Facebook said something about tomatoes and sunflowers uh on his wall or whatever you call that thing. And so today, because it's always the day after I decide what the sign is going to be. Today I was walking Autumn, and it's always also when I'm not looking for the sign. I turned a corner and there was a garden decoration that was a big, gigantic metal sunflower in one of the neighbors' yards. And no, I've never seen it before. I've never acknowledged it before. So there you go. He has showed up. So we are 3 for 3 so far. Well, we'll call it 4 for 4. 3.5. How about that? Because Grammy and Grandpop came. I asked for two bluebirds and I got one. And and then I've got my friend John, who we've got two signs for him. We had the little girl named Sprinkle Star and the motorcycle rider, little kid riding on a motorcycle with a helmet. And then today we have our sunflowers. So it's time to pick our next person. So I'll figure out who my next person is that I want to have a sign with. It's super fun. I hope you're doing it. I hope you're trying to figure out signs and looking for them. It's kind of a fun experience. It certainly made me excited. My psychiatrist was laughing at me, especially when I said, "Yeah, I only got one bluebird." So I challenged them and said that's not a good enough, and I need two bluebirds. So, yeah, so that's all I've got. And thanks for joining me. I hope this wasn't terribly weird for me to be at the pool, and I hope it came through audibly fine. And I will talk to you tomorrow.